Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, just the other day we covered that Frank Luntz moment, where he warned the Democrats outright, if you end up seizing Donald Trump's property, you will get him elected. I mean, he outright said that. And let's not pretend that Frank Luntz is a Trump shill. He pretends to be the neutral polling guy, but he essentially spent the entire Republican primary process shilling Nikki Haley. We know that he's an anti-Trump Republican, and so essentially he's on their side.
I want you to remember this moment, and don't forget it. If the New York Attorney General starts to take his homes away, starts to seize his assets, it's all going to be on camera. Pundits are going to sit there and scream about this. This man cannot be elected. You're going to create the greatest victimhood of 2024, and you're going to elect Donald Trump.
And so if I was a Democrat, I'd be taking that as a serious warning that maybe it ought to be time to rethink the old strategy, start doing things a little bit differently, but most importantly, start being self-critical, introspective, thinking, how do we do this better? How do we be better? But of course, as we know, we've been covering this stuff for years based on our experience. Democrats don't have the ability to be introspective or self-critical. No, what Democrats do is they double down and keep going, keep digging their heels in. Of course, the repeating cycle of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, but when you don't get the intended results, when it inevitably backfires, well, simply blame everybody else. In fact, you don't even have to blame a particular person, just blame, structural racism or the patriarchy or something. The typical leftist grift. In other words, Democrats aren't getting the memo, not even close. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright, so weirdly enough, it seems as though Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has become somewhat of a spokesperson for the DNC. She's become Hunter Biden's top lawyer, and really the public face of the Democrat Party in the news media recently. Maybe they're trying to put her out there during an election season to hopefully regain some of the ground that they lost with young voters. I don't know what's going on, but AOC seems to be speaking on behalf of the Democrats a whole lot lately. Well, here she is in a way responding to what Frank Luntz was saying the other day.
But it is my belief that all people should be treated equally under the law, and if that seizure of assets would be pursued to any other American, then Donald Trump should be treated the same. As far as the political implications go, I think that what we are dealing with politically is the much larger and much more grave and serious pressure of having this judgment against Donald Trump and him being in this degree of debt and the financial pressures that he is under and what he is subject to do in order to obtain those assets. I actually think that there is risk in not seizing these assets and the open window that exists in him trying to secure these funds through other means. We've seen a lot of interesting transactions happening with Truth Social and other means, and there's a very real risk of political corruption.
She thinks that there is risk in not seizing his assets. Why exactly is that? Well, of course, because deranged leftist conspiracy theory that supposedly Donald Trump is broke, even though he clearly owns billions of dollars of real estate, has a stock that's about to go public, which could net him over $3 billion in stock value, and he even claims that he has $500 million sitting in the bank. No, he's broke and we have to seize his assets because we don't want him to be in debt. Oh, the Russians are going to pay his debt and he's going to have to answer to them. And that's a clear concern. Holy frickin' moly. My brain hurts. But there it is, the double down. You guys risk looking like complete fascists, illegitimately persecuting Donald Trump, slapping some arbitrary $464 million fine on him. Now you guys are talking about seizing his assets. Looks pretty bad. There could be bad political implications. And the response is, well, we're going to do it anyways, because the risk on the back end is far worse based on some deranged, nutty, wacko, fake news, Trump deranged conspiracy theory. I know I'm repeating myself when I say that, but that just puts the whole thing into context. These people learn nothing. They never learn anything. It's constant doubling down. doubling down on extremism, doubling down on crazy policies, doubling down on the weaponization lawfare campaign, doubling down on censorship, doubling down on everything. We're always hearing from the left how the right is becoming so extreme, moving over to the extreme far rights, the fringes of the party. I don't feel that way at all if you look at the actual policy stances. In a lot of ways, the Republican Party is kind of moderated. A lot of libertarian, and you could even call them liberal values, have been embraced in modern conservatism. You know, the live and let live mentality. Conservatism is moderated, moved towards the center, but these leftoids just keep pushing further and further and further and further. Abortion up until birth, men can get pregnant, defund the police, open borders, rioting on the street is somehow racial justice. Hamas terrorists are actually freedom fighters. You know, it's literal extremism, and it's becoming mainstream. At this point, it's all just fascist dog whistles. They're saying the quiet part out loud. The real threat is allowing democracy to continue. The real threat here is allowing Donald Trump to participate in democracy. The question here, I'm interjecting, but that's really what they're scared of. They're telling you that they're fascists, and the real threat here is that Donald Trump be allowed to participate as a regular person, as a regular political candidate, and the only appropriate action is full-on fascism, seizure of assets, pulling him off the ballot. And why is that justified? Well, it's justified because of delusions that they suffer. This delusion that Donald Trump is broke and easily compromised. That was the first delusion, right? The whole premise that she built to justify her thought. Well, here's another one.
What do you say to a voter who says, well, that doesn't look like he's being treated equally before the law? That looks like somebody that the government is going after.
Has there ever been a president, Republican or Democrat, that has been subject to this level of criminal charges, indictments, and investigations? This is not about party. This is not about politics. This is about corruption and criminality. We're talking about an individual who ordered essentially a terrorist attack on the Capitol of the United States in order to retain power. That is not about being a Republican. It is not about being a Democrat. It's about being an unethical and individual who is subject and prone to criminality.
Trump, quote, ordered essentially a terrorist attack on the US Capitol. You know, the whole leftist worldview is built on nonsense conspiracy theories, on deranged, unhinged, detached from reality ideas that only live in their heads, delusions. Donald Trump ordered a terrorist attack on the US Capitol. I mean, that's a statement. It's also a statement of a statement, supposedly. If Donald Trump directly ordered a terrorist attack, well, there'd be a statement, right? There'd be a quote. There'd be some sort of declaration, a document. Let's go see if we could find that. Oh wait, we know exactly what she's referring to. We play the clip all the time. This is what she means.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Yeah, apparently in the mind of deranged leftists, what I just showed you, telling people to peaceably assemble, to patriotically and peacefully have your voice heard, that is a direct order to engage in a terrorist attack. And the terrorist attack that she's referring to is this: people casually walking through the US Capitol. Oh, that crazy terrorist insurrection attack on the US Capitol. Come on. I'm tired of being treated as if I'm stupid with these bogus narratives. The only question that I constantly ask myself is why others don't feel the same. I don't know, maybe the IQ bell curve has something to do with it. I'm just hoping the pearl clutching and the unhinged insanity is going to backfire. It seems as though it is, and even some Democrat strategists seem to be acknowledging it. James Carville sounds off on Democrats in wild New York Times column, says the party's culture is being dominated by too many preachy females. The question is he wrong? Not exactly sure. I'm just hoping whatever the problem is, however you describe it, I'm just hoping it leads to the total collapse of the political left. They need a reality check at this point. It's clearly all gone too far. And I'm just gonna say it, I'm not gonna milquetoast fence it. It's all gone too far left. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.